This recipe is my mom's recipe. It's casserole dish utilizing yellow squash. Like I said, we ate this as children. We asked for it as part of, can we have for dinner? Can you believe that? So it's really quite simple. It's yellow squash and some diced onion, one whole diced onion, kind of a large diced onion, some saltine cracker crumbs, which we're going to make these crackers into crumbs, and butter, and there you go. And every cook has their favorite knife, and this one is mine, this cleaver, which was given to me a few years back by one of my cooks. And the cook that gave it to me was Asian and was very skilled at the use of a cleaver for all of her chopping and slicing and dicing. So I'm not as skilled as she is, but I like the balance on it, so I use it a lot. So I just cutting these into medium slices. You can cut them into chunks. There's no rule about this, okay? You can cut them into chunks. You can keep the squash whole and leave, I don't mean whole. You can cut it into rounds like coins. I like it this way because it's a little more manageable, and maybe that's why we as kids liked it. It wasn't large chunks of vegetable. It was something small that didn't bother us too much. And here, as you can see, I've got some already done. So now I'm going to put this in boiling salted water. I've got my water simmering. Now I'm just going to turn it up to a high boil and salt it. Add my squash. And we're going to let that cook until it's soft, but we don't want it mushy. Soft but not mushy. So you kind of have to watch it. It won't take long. And then you're going to drain it in the colander and let it drain really, really well, because you don't want the water from the squash to soggy up your dish, okay? While we've got the squash going, I'm going to saute the onions that are also part of this dish with a little butter. Maybe I can do a little butter. I'm not a little butter person, I'm a lot of butter person. So there's my chopped whole white onion. Put that in the... Now I don't want these onions to brown. I want them to get that translucent, soft, where they just get flavorful, but not brown. So that's why I've got my heat kind of low, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on those. Maybe I'll just add a little more butter, because butter makes everything taste good. I'm not a calorie counting kind of girl. So that's the beginning of my mom's squash casserole. Small pieces of squash cut up in boiling salted water until they're soft but not mushy. We got some onions going. And that's the essence of the dish right there. That's it, okay? Now I want to show you what it looks like put together, and we'll finish it off and put it in the oven. I've drained my squash thoroughly. I let it drain for quite a while, so all the water dripped out. I combined it with the lightly sauteed onions, salt and pepper. Remember, I salted the water, but I also salt this and pepper this, because salt and pepper is a layering flavor agent, so I want to build layers of flavor. Now, I'm going to dot this with butter. Saltine cracker crumbs. Don't buy the ones that come in a little canister, already ground up. Waste of your money. They're a little too fine for what we want. This is like a gratin, so we want a crunchy topping. So don't go with little wussy breadcrumbs, okay? So, and how did I get these like this? I'll show you in a minute. It's so much fun. Okay, so sprinkle over the saltine crumbs generously, because that's your crunch. Maybe that's another reason we liked it as kids too. Crunch. Okay? I think that looks good. We're going to run this in the oven. I got the oven set at 350 degrees, and we just wanted to get bubbly and hot through and through, because basically the ingredients in it are cooked. We're just getting it nice and hot. So we'll let that go while I want to show you the next vegetable casserole. Oh, I promised to show you about the cracker crumbs, how much fun it is to make cracker crumbs from scratch. See this rolling pin? And then you just beat it like this. That's how I made those crumbs. That's how I worked off a little stress today too. The squash is ready. I want to show it to you. It's nice and pretty. Golden brown on top, and it's bubbly on the sides. That's the butter. I want to dish up some of this squash casserole that just came out of the oven so you can see how nice and scrumptious it looks. And make it, when you make this, make it in a shallow dish like this. So let's see. It's Mom's recipe. I don't make it often, so let's see what happens. Tastes like Mom's. That's a good thing. The squash is nice and buttery. It's soft but not mushy in your mouth. And the cracker crumbs give it a nice crunch on top. I think you'll enjoy this.